Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Ingalls here. In today's video, I'm happy to announce my cookbook is now available on Amazon. It's titled Cooking on the Prairie with the Ingalls. This is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. And you should be seeing a link to ordering it here, but I will include that link in the comments of this video as well. So you can just click on it and go right to it. So this is my third book. I'm very proud to put out there. I've been promising it for quite a long time. And let me say this, publishing a cookbook is far different than publishing the other two books that I've published. So that's why it took so long. I also wanted to make sure that each one of the recipes were done correctly and added some of the details that I use when I cook. But let me give you a little bit of a history about how it came to be. Back in the early 2000s, I went to our family Thanksgiving dinner, and during the holidays, you really have a huge sense of family and the holiday season, etc. So it was really a warm and nice event. And then you add to that, we're all sitting down for a dinner, and at that dinner, there was probably more than 40 people there in just our immediate family. It was hosted at my sister's house, which was lovely. She was one of the few in the family that could host that many people. And during that dinner, I thought, what a shame that these recipes are not shared with others. So I came home and it bothered me a little bit. And finally, I reached out to the family. I said, this is what I took away from the Thanksgiving dinner. I would like to get the recipes and others that we make in the family all the time and put them in a cookbook. Even if it's just for our family to share, but I think that others would like to have these recipes as well, because they're not hugely difficult. All the recipes that are in this book I make all the time, but they are flavorful, they're really good comfort food, and kind of a variety of things. So that's where the idea came from. Everybody agreed with it. So we set about collecting the recipes, and I have a couple brothers that don't really cook. So they didn't contribute, but otherwise everybody else did. So these recipes go back to my grandparents' generation and even before. Some of them, I'm sure that they came from their parents as well. So you'll have old family recipes. You'll also have some that I have collected over the years that I make on a regular basis and that I get requests for the recipes frequently. So those are all in here. I've also added some variations to each one of the recipes, or most of them, that you can use to enhance them or change them a little bit so that they don't taste the same all the time. So that's kind of how the recipes came to be. One of the items that my mother talked about, and first of all, let me say this, my mother and I were the two that worked on it the most and put everything together. One thing that she talked about as a young cook that frustrated her was that she did not have a single cookbook, just one cookbook that she could go that had kind of a glossary of terms, cooking times, what all that meant. She'd had to look at several books. She would really like to have it where it's all in one place. So we agreed. I think that was a good idea. And she set about collecting all of this information, and she would send it to me, and then I put it in a spreadsheet form or a form that we could then put in a book. So there's a huge section on cooking terms, cooking times, etc. in the back of the book. So hopefully this would then become a single source book for those people that are new to cooking, or even those that are not, can go and look at what does a different term mean, or if I need to substitute one thing for another, what is it and how much is it, etc. Those kind of things are in the back of the book as well. I am going to create a video for each one of the recipes. Now, the recipe in the book, you can make it, it'll be complete, it'll be done. You won't have to do anything else to it. But if you want to know some of the nuances of it, the cooking processes or mixing or other details about the recipe, you can watch the video, but it's not one of those things you have to follow along to make the recipe. You don't. You'll be able to get some additional information and add it to what's there in the book, or not. And then a couple final thoughts. One question I get asked all the time, what is your favorite recipe? I'm going to talk about three. I don't have a favorite. All of them are my favorite or they wouldn't be here. But if I had to pick out a top one, it would have to be my mother's potato salad. Be sure and watch that video. I had some funny stories about that, as well as the recipe itself. It has a very unique flavor and process for putting it together, which is why I like it so well. And when I get a chance, I make it. So that would be number one. Number two, a recipe that I came because of a dinner club that I'm part of. It is the chicken mayonnaise. It's a very flexible dish. So there's a lot of variations that you can put. A lot of them that I put in the cookbook, but there will be others in the video as well. Again, you don't need the video. You can make it just the way it is in the cookbook, and it will be exceptional. But if you want some other details, watch the video. This particular recipe, the chicken mayonnaise, is one of the courses that were served on the last night the Titanic was sailing in the first class. So I think they had like a 14-course dinner. This was one of the courses in the dinner, which made it compelling in itself. But then it really is a very good recipe as well. So definitely one of those to try. The third and last one that I want to talk to isn't one that you would necessarily make, but it is so funny. My mother, when she sent me her macaroni salad, she accidentally sent me the salad that she would make for our large family gatherings. Now, my dad is one of 6 children. My mother is one of 11 children. That includes 2 families. My grandparents married, and they both had their own children, 11 total. So when we would get together as a family, it was huge. And her macaroni salad that she would make for that party, it's for me, it is funny to read. So be sure and read that. If you need to make a salad that size, now you have a recipe for it. But it's just funny to read. So hopefully you'll get it, read it, and enjoy it. The last thing I want to talk about is my own personal work and journey. So this, as I said, is my 3rd book. The first 2 books were nonfiction. They added a 4th and 5th generation of Ingalls family stories to the works that Laura and her daughter Rose put out there. So now there's 5 generations of stories of the Ingalls family living an average American experience. This 3rd book takes a sidestep away from that and gives a glimpse into the everyday life of our family. These recipes, like I said, most of them came from that Thanksgiving dinner or other family events that we've had over the years. So it was something that my mother and I, as I said, worked on for the most part. She knew that this book was coming together, although it was in the early stages when we lost her last year. It's been almost a year now. So I hate that she did not see it come to fruition and become available, but she knew it was coming out there. It's a work that she was proud of. So again, the cookbook, Cooking on the Prairie with the Ingalls. It is the 3rd book that I have put out there. Hopefully you'll get them, read them, enjoy catching up with the family, and prepare some meals that we would have prepared as well. Thank you for joining me today. Let me hear from you.